Hello, Fluff Butts. Kinsley here. It seems like I cannot keep up with this channel. I don't know what it is. Life just gets hectic and busy and crazy, and the next thing I know, a month has gone by since my last video. So thank you guys for bearing with me through this and just sticking around even though I haven't uploaded that often. But I do want to say thank you so much to all of my new subscribers over the past few months. You guys are awesome, and I'm just forever appreciative of every single one of you guys. But anyway, today I figured that I would talk about what it's like coming out as a furry to your parents. Some people have asked me questions about this, and they're not quite sure how to tell their parents that they are in the furry fandom, or that they consider themselves a furry, or, you know, they just want to show their persona to their parents. And I'm just here to kind of share my experience telling my mom that I was a furry, and kind of give you guys a little bit of tips and tricks on when it comes to telling your parents that you are a furry. Okay, so when I told my mom I was a furry, she kind of didn't really know what I was talking about. And then I just explained to her how if you go to Disneyland and you see the characters dressed up in costumes, that's basically what furries are. They like to create their own characters though, and dress up in these costumes and attend conventions and meet other furries and have just meetups and, you know, little photo shoots together. And there's a whole community based around these people who enjoy creating their own characters that represent who they are as a person, and potentially purchasing fursuits and dressing up in them to events, whether it be at the park, at Walmart, conventions, so on and so forth. And when I told her about it, she didn't really know what furries were, so she didn't understand the dark side of it. She kind of only saw the good side of it and just the positivity around it. And so that's one thing that really made me happy. And I do have a really close relationship with my mom, so I did explain that there is kind of a darker side to the fandom where things are sexualized and people do things that are kind of inappropriate. And she understood that, and she also respected that I am not in the fandom for those reasons. And a lot of people within the fandom are not in the fandom for those reasons. And if you are watching this and you are in the fandom for those reasons, that is fine. Good for you. Just don't pressure your actions on other people, and don't force others into doing something they don't want to do. So you can be a furry at any age is what I personally believe. But of course, if you are involved in the sexual side of it and you are underage, that is something that I am personally strongly against. But anyway, enough talk about that. Enough talk about my beliefs and everything. I'm going to go ahead and get back into the topic of this video. So, like I said, when I told my mom, she was really chill about it. She didn't really, you know, think too much of it. And then I told her that I was going to be having my character made into a suit. And she thought that that was so cool. She loved Kinsley's look. She loved the style. She loved the colors. She just thought it was super cute. And so when I told her I was having her made into a suit, she thought that was awesome. She thought it was kind of crazy how expensive it was, but then she understood that so much time and work and effort goes into making one of these things that it's obvious that it would cost a big chunk of money. She did not criticize the fact that I was spending money on something like this. Not at all whatsoever. She was actually very supportive. But in some cases, parents or guardians will not be supportive at all whatsoever. They will think what you're doing is childish. They will think what you're doing is stupid or immature, and that you need to grow up, spend your money on priorities and necessities rather than blowing money trying to be your own stuffed animal. There are people out there who think that way. The best advice I can give about coming out as a furry to your parents is just tell them. I mean, just tell them, because number one, you're never gonna know what their reaction is until you try, until you tell them. You're never gonna know. You're always gonna be wondering, well, what are they gonna think? What are they gonna think? Just tell them, and then you'll know. And if they don't support your life or your choices or what you love and what you do, then that's okay. Because in this world, people are going to criticize you and people are going to judge you, even if it's your own dang family. People are so judgmental these days, and a lot of the times, parents are older, and they're not really familiar with a lot of things within this generation, and to them, furries is something completely new, random, and weird. It's just like when you go to school after you just got a fresh haircut. People are going to look at you weird. People might tease you because the haircut looks weird. People are going to make fun of you. People are going to just look at you funny. But if a few days pass, they're going to get used to it. They're going to get more used to seeing you that way. They're not going to tease you as much. It'll be old news. And that's the same thing with the furry fandom, or, any fandom that maybe some adults have not heard of yet. It's new for them. So obviously they're going to have a reaction that potentially could be negative. And it's just a matter of letting it kind of grow on them and just letting them see how happy it makes you and how excited you get about it. And that will ultimately, affect their opinion as time goes on, because they'll see how much it means to you and they'll see that you want to put your passion and life into something like this. And they'll be a lot more respecting of it in theory. Again, there are some pretty stubborn people out there that they just want nothing to do with anything new. They don't like change. They don't want their kids experiencing the real world. There are people like that, and that's fine. It is fine for everyone to have their own opinions. But like I said, if anything, if you tell them and they freak out and they get mad and they potentially kick you out of the house just for being a furry, at least you told them. And at least you can sleep at night knowing that you weren't afraid to express who you are. You shouldn't be afraid to just stand up and say, yes, this is who I am, this is what I love, this is what I do. Even if it's something regardless, furries aside, if it's just something you like to wear, or how you do your makeup, or wear your hair, or color your hair, or whatever, the fact that you were not afraid to stand up and say, this is who I am, is going to speak millions. And a lot of the times your parents will be very relieved that you trusted them with this information and that you can, come out to them as being a furry or loving what you love, or even loving who you love for that matter. And while it may be hard, it may be something difficult to overcome and to get through, it's something that needs to be done. And one of the best things you can do is conquer your fears in life, because if you always just keep hiding in the shadows, you're not going to get anywhere, and no one's going to know the real you. And if people don't know the real you, then they can't fully get to know who you are and become potentially a really good or best friend. So I guess that's the best advice I can give, is just go ahead and jump in and do it and see how it plays out, because everybody's circumstances are going to be different. Everyone's story is going to be different. And everyone's parents, react differently. I just share my experience with you guys so you can see my experience. But I have heard of people who have told their parents, and their parents just don't care. Like, they're just like, okay, cool, whatever. And they don't even think anything of it. And then there are other people who their parents think, they're the devil now because they are a furry. And to me, that's ridiculous, because it's hard to judge something that you've never experienced. If you yourself have never been a furry or have never been part of the furry fandom, it can be very difficult to kind of grasp the concept of it sometimes. And even when I first told my boyfriend that I was interested in being a furry, we've been together for so long now. He's actually now my fiance. He just recently proposed, so it's weird calling him my boyfriend. But anyway, we had been together for a really long time, and I finally told him I was interested in being a furry, and I wanted to get this suit. And, his first reactions were, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to be involved in that? And I just said, because I think it'll be fun. And he supported me all along the way, and while he is not a furry himself, he still respects my decisions, and he knows that it truly makes me happy, so he's going to support me through it all. And those are the people you want in your life anyway. As far as your friends go, you want those people in your life who are going to support you regardless of whatever crazy stuff you're into. You want someone who loves and respects you and your decisions for who you are as a person on the inside, not necessarily what you represent or look like on the outside. So with that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this video because that is all the advice I can really give. I know it's not the best and it's not like a straightforward answer of what to expect, but that's just because, like I said, every situation and every scenario is different. So in order to see how your story unfolds, you are the one who has to open up and come out as a furry to see what the next chapter holds. I will let you guys go now. Please give this video a big thumbs up and leave me a comment down below on your story of how you came out as a furry to your parents. I would love to hear it, and I'm sure everyone in the comments would love to hear your stories as well. And with that being said, I will talk to you all next time. So don't forget to stay kawaii. Bye!